I'd tap that. Well, boys and girls, it's maple syrup time. That's right. Warm days, cold nights, that means the sap's flowing. So what we got is we did a little dumpster diving today. We've been collecting some jugs here. Today, we're going to take you through the entire process of maple syrup. From the tree to your belly.
The tree that we use for tapping for maple syrup is a sugar maple tree. Most maples produce sap, and you can make their sap into syrup of any maple tree. But the sugar maple tree has the most sugar content in the sap itself. And you find a sugar maple anywhere in the woods here in Ohio. Really, it's pretty easy to find. Maple has opposite branching, which means the branches come out of the main stem at exactly the same spot. And that's how you can tell a maple pretty quick if you can't see a leaf. If you can see a leaf, then you know right away it's a sugar maple leaf. But you come up to the tree, and the first thing you got to figure out is how many taps you can put in that tree. And you do that by doing something called DBH. And what DBH is diameter of the tree at breast height. And what you can do is come up to a tree, figure out if it fits into 3 different categories. The first category is 11 inches to 17 inches in DBH, and that tree will get 1 tap. So on an 11 to 17 inch DBH tree, and what that is that the diameter of breast height would be like the distance in a tree from side to side if you were to draw a straight line right through the middle. And it's at about 4.5 inches high. So at an 11 to 17 inch tree, you would put 1 tap in it. But a 18 to 24 inch tree, you would put 2 taps. And then a 24 and up inch tree, you would put 3 taps. And they recommend only 3 taps per tree because anything more than that could do serious damage to the tree. So the equipment that we're using, we decided to go a little bit on the cheap side this year. Get good products, but for as cheaply as we could do it. And your 3 main products that you need are the spile, which is the tap that goes into the tree. So you would drill a hole into the tree and then pound this spile into the tree so it points down. The next bit of equipment that you need is the down tube itself. The stuff that's going to take the sap out of the tree and down to the collection container that you need it to. We have a 5/16 setup. It's the smaller of the two, and it does the less damage to a tree. And we also use plastic ones because plastic is shown to do a lot less damage to the tree. Because you are, in a sense, creating a cavity in the tree by drilling into it and driving one of these spiles in there. So from the down tube, it goes to the collection container. And we went on the cheap, and we just decided to save a bunch of milk containers from our kitchen at camp.
How maple sugar came to be, an Abnaki legend. In the early days of the world, life was much easier for man. Glooskap, the creator, saw to it that the lives of his people were very good. Plenty of food to hunt, gather, and grow. Even the maple tree flowed year-round with sap as sweet and thick as honey. In those days, Glooskap traveled from village to village to keep an eye on the people. One day he discovered an abandoned village. The houses were in disrepair. The fields were overgrown. The cooking fires had gone cold. You could find no gathering food, and no one preparing to hunt, no dogs barking, no children playing. He wandered and wandered about until he heard a strange sound coming from the forest. As he approached, he could tell that it was the sound of many people moaning, but the moaning he heard was not from pain, it was from pleasure. He searched until he found the people of the village in a large stand of beautiful maples, lying at the bases of the trees and letting the sweet syrup drip into their open mouths. The maple syrup had fattened them up so much and made them so lazy that they could do nothing but lie about and grove. Glooskap scolded them to get up, return to their village, rekindle their fires, and tend to their gardens. But the people did not listen. They were content and refused to move. Highly disturbed by their inactivity, he flew to the lake, filled the bark container with water, and returned to the woods, and poured it over the trees to dilute the syrup. Some say he did this 30 times, as many as the days between the moons. After a while, the people complained that the sap was no longer thick and sweet. "Now get up," Glooskap cried, "and live and work. Because of your laziness, the trees will no longer flow with sweet syrup, but mere sap. If you want the syrup, you must work for it by boiling the sap. And what's more, it will soon vanish, so that you will remember the error of your ways. You will be able to make the syrup just once a year, and only for a short time." He showed them that making the syrup would take much work. In order to recreate the sweetness they so fondly remembered, they would need to take many birch bark containers to collect the sap, gather wood for fires, and tend the fires, and heat rocks, and constantly add rocks to the sap to boil away the water over many days. And so, it is to this day that the people remember the Creator's lesson and work hard to make the maple syrup they love so much.
Oh man.
That was awesome. My hands actually hurt from playing it. Saying something because my hands never played flute. Wow. Woo! That was freaking awesome.
A lot of fun. The Maple Tree by Susanna Modi. When the snows of winter are melting fast and the sap begins to rise, and the biting breath of the frozen blast yields to spring's soft sighs, then away in the wood, for the maple good shall unlock its honed store. And boys and girls with their sunny curls bring their vessels brimming over with the luscious flood of the brave tree's blood in cauldrons deep to pour. The blaze from the sugar bush gleams red far down in the forest dark. A ruddy glow on the tree is shed that lights up the rugged bark, and with merry shout the busy rout. Watch the sap as it bubbled high, and they talk of the cheer and of the coming year, and the jest and the song pass by, and brave tales of old round the fire are told that kindle youth's beaming eye.
The other two are going to be right down there.